So I am going to pause and welcome Mrs. Nina Mitchell from, I'm gonna do this again because I just started recording. I apologize. I have to do this again. So tonight's presenter is none other than the fabulous Georgia Peach herself, Mrs. Nina Mitchell from the great state of Georgia. She's a one-star platinum, leading a large team of agents. She's a Founders Council member. She is a six-time IATAN card holder, and she has earned the 250K ring, which is huge. She has all these achievements. Look at all her plaques in the background. She is absolutely fabulous, wonderful person all around. A mom, oh, she's a wife, a mom of three wonderful children, absolutely wonderful. Mrs. Nina Mitchell, are you ready to bless the family?
I am. Thank you so much, Solange, for that wonderful introduction. It's always great to hear your voice. You know, I love your accent and my baby loves you too. So thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to do this for me personally, but for our agents as well. So guys, take a moment and thank Solange for being our hostess with the mostest. Thank you guys for taking time to log on tonight. It's been a while for me. I think the last time I did this was sometime in May. So I missed you guys. But we are going to get into it. I have been letting people in the chat, but now I'm going to leave that alone, Solange, and I'll leave that to you so that I can focus. As Solange said, my name is Mrs. Nina Jackson Mitchell. I have been with Evolution Travel literally since day one, and it has been a wonderful experience. I started off part-time as a full-time social worker while we were living in the state of Hawaii. I lived in Honolulu for 8 years, just a little shy of 8 years, and Evolution literally fell into my lap. The person that introduced me to the business let me know that this was something that he had confidence in and he felt like I would do well in it. And I have. And I would love to tell you guys it's just because I'm a superstar, but the truth is I'm coachable. And this is the perfect environment for you guys to thrive in. This company gave me a lane of my own and allowed me to do what I needed to do to get to where I want to be. And I have not reached the pinnacle yet. I'm still working every day like you guys are. I was just blessed to take it seriously in the beginning. So now this is my full-time job. So as I say on the webinars all the time, if you're wondering, if you can make this a full-time thing, you definitely can. If you're wondering if you can earn a substantial and a stable income, you definitely can. I am on that top 20 list every single month, and I've literally stopped counting. It has been well over 20 months that I've been on it every month. So if you take this seriously and you keep the main thing, this can definitely bless your life, the people's lives that you have access to, and everybody that's connected to this wonderful opportunity. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. You guys know every time I come before you, I have something great for you. And these are things that I use in my business every single day, and they have helped me. So I want to give you guys the tools that I use. Hopefully you guys can get something from this. Even if you are already a top booker, I ask that you listen in with open ears so that you can gain something too, because at the end of the day, we all need help in some way, shape, or form, okay? So there's going to be a time that I am going to ask you guys questions. So be ready to type in the chat box. If you were on the Q&A just a few moments ago, I gave you a homework assignment. Don't forget that I'm going to give you the answer to that homework assignment. So I'm hoping you guys are paying attention. Solange, I am leaving it to you to let everybody in, and I'm going to go ahead and get started now. I'm going to turn off the mic because I tend to be a little animated and I might start talking with my hands, and I don't want to distract you guys. So let's get it started. Excuse me. All right, I'm hoping you guys can see the screen. If you can't, Solange, let me know so that I can adjust. So what we are going to talk about today is overcoming the no. We're going to talk about overcoming the no, and I'm going to give you guys tips on how to turn a no into a yes. So I'm not going to go over all of the accolades again. Solange already did that and made me blush. You guys already know who I am, so let's get it started. So let's get the preliminaries out of the way. What is a no? No is an act or an instance of refusing or denying by the use of the word no. It's a flat out denial. So my question to you guys is, why does the word no bother us so badly? Now, for me specifically, I am not ashamed to tell you that I am spoiled. My father started it, my husband carried it on, and my husband currently is he took the mantle and he's carrying that on. He's going to handle that for the rest of my life. Yes, I am used to being told yes. The flip side of that is, as a defense mechanism, I don't ask people for a lot of things. I just don't, because I hate to be told no. So I guess that's a character flaw too. How many of you guys hate to be told no? Hate it. I literally hate it. But why do we give up when we are told no? Have you guys thought about that? Why do we just flat out give up when we're told no? That's been a thing with me all my life. You tell me no once, I promise you, I'm never going to ask you anything again. If that's, again, it might be a character flaw, but that's just, we're going to be honest, right? We're going to be honest. I don't like to be told no. But why do we just totally give up and throw in the towel when we're told no? Give that some thought. So what is the opposite of no? The opposite of no is an affirmative. Exactly, all right, okay, gladly, A, for sure, very well, you bet, no problem. So it is more in depth than just a yes. There are several ways that people can tell you something which is the opposite of no. We want to think with an open mind and think outside of the box so that we can have the success that we would like to have, okay? So if you don't have anything to take notes on, you might want to grab something really quick. I'll pause briefly so that you can grab something to write on and something to write with, but we are going to go over 5 tips on how to turn a no into a yes. So one of the things newer and novice travel agents tend to find difficult is turning the initial no into a yes. In fact, until they get over the hump, many avoid asking prospective new partners to join their business and potential clients for their business directly for the fear of rejection. How many of you guys have hesitated to reach out to your friends, families, associates, church members, sorority sisters, fraternity brothers? How many of you got neighbors? How many of you guys have hesitated to ask people to join your business or to book with you simply because you were scared of the rejection? Be honest. Be honest. How many of you guys just said, forget it, I'm just not going to ask because I know they're going to say no? I've done it before. So I'm pretty sure everybody on this line has hesitated once because they just figured the person was going to say no, right? The discomfort of putting someone in a decision or to make their own anxieties about hearing a no, what a no might mean. That is one of the things that keeps me from asking people on a personal level for things because of the fear of being let down or rejected or just turned away. Now, when my business is a little different, I'm not afraid to ask people for the sale. I'm not afraid to ask for the money, but I have had to get over that anxiety first. And I know that that is something that many of you deal with because we have spoken about it in private messages or in our Q&A groups, or people have mentioned that this is a thing. How do I keep people from ghosting me? Or why is nobody booking with me? Okay. No to many travel consultants is a terrible word to hear. I understand it. I hate being told no. It's a thing for me. It signifies failure, rejection, and time wasted. How many times have you said, they just wasted my time? They had me to do this quote for them. They chased me down about this quote, and now they're ghosting me or they haven't responded. What a waste of my time. I bet everybody on this line has said that at least once. All things that we associate with negativity goes along with that. A stagnant career, and perhaps most importantly, a small commission check. But no need not be a scary word. It doesn't have to be a scary thing. In fact, a well-known sales phrase by Mr. Mark Cuban. How many of you guys know who Mark Cuban is? The famous shark from Shark Tank and the basketball team owner, Mark Cuban, goes a little something like this. Every no I hear gets me closer to a yes. So if Mark Cuban believes that, because realistically, who's telling Mark Cuban no? Apparently he's had to experience that. So who are we to expect to never be told no, right? This at its core is very true. The more people that you talk to, the more likely one of them is to buy a trip from you. Therefore, moving on to someone new will get you one step closer to a yes. A good motivator to pick yourself up and to keep going. So don't give up. All right, so let's get to those tips. Tip number 1, take a screenshot, write it down, take notes. Tip number 1 is to rephrase your yes questions into no questions. Rephrase your yes questions into no questions. Making more calls or sending more text messages or sending more inboxes isn't necessarily the only way that you can turn a no into a yes. It might be one of the ways, but it might not necessarily be the only way. One way to use no to your advantage is by using it to put prospects in control. Now, I am a person that's most likely going to say yes to something that is presented to me if I have control over the situation. I've been called an alpha female. I don't think that's what I am. I just think that I'm assertive. But if I walk into a situation and I feel like I am calling my own shots, I'm most likely going to go with whatever that decision is if it makes sense to me. Do you feel a little more comfortable if you're control over a situation? Do you feel pressure when people are trying to make the decision for you? Understand your clients feel the same way, or your prospective new partners feel the same way. After all, it is easier to commit to a no than a yes. In your childhood, can you count how many times your parents said yes? I guarantee you it was a whole lot less than them saying no. I dealt with it with my 3. I have 2 adult children. One is 26, one is 23. And the boss of us all is 9. She'll be 10 in a few weeks. But good Lord, I can't tell you how many times I say no in the course of a day. No, stop, don't do that. Don't interrupt me right now. Hold on, give me a minute. I really don't say yes that much because of the amount of times that I'm being asked things in the course of a day. It's just easier for me to say no. No, ask me later. No, check me out later. It just really is. And it's like that for your clients too. It's easier for them to say no. They're almost prepared to tell you no, even though they have sought you out, they've asked you about your business, they have asked you about booking a trip for you, and have almost bugged you about it, but they're almost set to say no. For example, you can ask specific questions where no is actually good news, such as, would you be opposed to X? No? Great. By reframing the question, you're turning the no into a positive, which can pave the way for a yes further down the line. All right, so tip number 2, take a picture or a screenshot, write it down, take your notes, because you are really going to need this information so that you can build your business. And this is good for team builders as well as bookers and hybrids like myself, because I use these tips on both sides of the deal. Tip number 2 is use the no's to build the relationship. Use the no's to build the relationship. Another way to view a no is as an opportunity for prospects to let their guard down a bit and to open up to you. You'll never get a shot at a yes if your prospects are hanging up or ghosting you within the first 7 seconds of you speaking to them. Strangers are skeptical of salespeople. But if you have the guts to ask for a no instead of a yes, then you're in a position where you're communicating directly rather than relying on manners or niceties in your discussions. which can be counterproductive. How many times have you wasted time going back and forth with idle conversation instead of just asking for what you wanted? It's happened to me. I'm guilty of that. I've done it. So I want to prevent you guys from beating your head on the wall or making the same mistakes that I've made. Many of the leaders can tell you that we've all made these mistakes at one point in time. This not only buys you more time with the prospect, it buys you more trust because they know you won't bully them into a yes. Now, I have become a builder. I am very reluctant to call myself a team builder. The founder has called me a hybrid because I book and I build, but the building really happens for me. I don't use pressure tactics. This tip has really, really helped. I've asked people, hey, do you book your own trips? Are you getting paid for it? No? Okay, then let's talk about it. No pressure in it at all. This can really help you by focusing on not putting pressure on people and just building the relationship with them, asking the important questions, listening to what they say, and then building that no into a full-fledged relationship. All right, tip number 3, restate their answer. Restate their answer. You guys ever played the game of telephone? I bet if you play it right now in your big grown age, that the person in front of the room is going to tell the message one way, and by the time it gets to the back of the room, it's still going to be screwed up because people nowadays rarely listen to assist. They almost always listen to respond. And we lose business, we lose valuable relationships, we lose valuable prospects because we don't slow down to listen to assist. We listen to respond. You ever had a conversation with somebody like that? I hate that. Where a person is just rattling off some things, you really have something valuable to add to the conversation. They don't soak in what you say, and then they mess around and ask you a question that you literally just said the answer to. That's how you know that they're listening to respond. You don't want to do that with your clients or your prospective new partners or even the people on your team. In sales, this is called mirroring. Sometimes prospects don't mean what they say. They just might be trying to get out of the conversation. It might be uncomfortable for them to talk about joining your business or booking a trip with you that they're not sure if they have the money to afford it. By restating the last few words of what they said, you're showing that you are attentively listening and asking for clarification using their own language. Plus, you're letting them realize on their own that their objection might not make sense. I use this tactic a lot with you guys, with the agents, and I've been accused of being a little spicy because I will ask the question back to you. What you ask me, I will ask you in that same the same way that you've asked me. And it's really meant to make you think, like, wait a minute, did I just ask that? Because sometimes the answer is obvious because you state the answer in your question more often than not. So you can do that with your clients and your prospective new partners. What they say to you, repeat the last few words. It makes them comfortable with you because it lets them know that you are listening. If you've never heard anything about me, this is one rumor that is true. I despise talking on the phone. I just do. It slows me down. It keeps me from doing other things at the same time. I hate talking on the phone, but I'll shoot you a text or an inbox really, really quickly. But if you are on the phone with me, I need you to be attentively listening. And that's how you can let me know that, by repeating the last thing that I said. My husband does it all the time, just to plug in to let me know, hey, I hear you. I'm here with you. I'm tuned in. I'm plugged in. Do that with your potential clients and your potential new partners and see how that works. You'll be surprised how effective mirroring can be, especially if you're disciplined enough to keep quiet. I am a big talker. Lord, have mercy. And all of my kids are too. Everybody in my family plays chess except me. Now, I'm teaching myself how to play chess right now. But how do you guys do it? You don't talk throughout the whole match. Lord, I'm ready to pull my eyelashes out. But listening attentively can make someone really, really trust you. The prospect or your potential new client will open up to you eventually. You just have to give it time. When this happens, pay close attention to what they're saying. Chances are they'll tell you everything you need to know. All right, tip number 4, ask follow-up questions to uncover the real objection. Ask follow-up questions to uncover the real objection. No doesn't mean never. This is something that I've had to tell all 3 of my children, but especially this last one, Lady Brooke, the boss of us all. I have to explain to her, no doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It doesn't mean that I'm saying, no, this will never happen. I'm just saying it can't happen right now. Ultimately, turning a no into a yes comes down to understanding the prospect's real objection, what they are really saying no to. They may not be saying no to you. They may be saying no to a specific part of what you're presenting to them. And reacting in a professional and a positive way can change things for you. There's been times that I've been told no, that I wanted to smash a window or something. I am honest to a fault. But you definitely can't do that with a client. All right, you travel bookers. How many times, or have you ever worked so hard on a quote for a client? You put it together perfectly. You packaged it with everything they asked for. And either they don't message you back at all to even let you know that they got it, or they just tell you, no, I'm not interested. Or no, I'm not going to book it. Same thing with you team builders. How many times have you reached out to people, or have you ever reached out to someone to ask them, hey, would you like more information on learning how to get paid to travel? And they say, no, I'm not interested. And you're like, you didn't even let me finish talking. And you got a little upset. Well, you want to make sure that you are responding in a professional way, because that no could just be a not right now. It's not necessarily a never. Getting to a no should not be the end of the road. Whenever you hear it, try to find out why the prospect feels that way so that you can look for a solution. Have you guys ever heard us say, the person who solves the most problems cashes the biggest check? You guys ever heard us say that? Become a professional problem solver. Listen to what they're saying and address what is causing them to say no. That can turn that no into a maybe, which can turn into an all-out yes. Perhaps the timing is off. Maybe you're asking them to join the business on a Wednesday and they get paid on Friday. They say no, you go off on them. Do you think they're going to join you on Friday? Probably not. So think about how you respond before you respond. In a best case scenario, they maybe have misunderstood some of the aspects of what you're presenting to them. I've had situations where I've sent a person a quote. They looked at the price and said, oh my God, that's too expensive. But they didn't know that the pricing was for 2 people instead of 1. They thought that the price was just for them. So you've got to ask the pertinent questions in order to find out what their issue is. What part are they saying no to? In any case, a deeper dive into a no can help point you in the right direction of a yes, like a roadmap to a sale. Ask, what would you need to happen in order for this deal to become a success for them? Questions like, what's holding you back? That can get the prospect to talking. And when I say prospect, I mean your prospective client or your prospective new partner. And it will also allow you to understand what, if anything, can get them back on board. Tip number 5, disconnect from the outcome. Disconnect from the outcome. I led by telling you guys I take no's personally. It is like the end of the world for me. And it's been like this my whole life. Blame it on my father, God rest his soul. But I hate to be told no. So I will do it all myself or figure out a way to get it done. Anything to keep me from having to ask somebody else that will potentially put me in a position to be told no. And this is something that I personally have to work on. So I'll be working on this right along with you guys. Disconnect your feelings from that outcome. A person isn't saying, no, I'm not joining your business because I don't like you. Or no, I'm not going to buy this trip because I don't like you. Because clearly something has attracted them to you because you're in a discussion with them about this in the beginning. So we have to disconnect from the outcome. As travel agents, we must desensitize ourselves to hearing no. Once it feels like a part of the job, meaning it's going to happen, people are going to say no. It will no longer have the power to knock us on the back of our heels and will ensure that we don't have to spend hours or days feeling down in the dumps or rejected about being turned down. This has happened to me, where I really did my razzle dazzle thing and put together this all-star trip, and the people never even responded. I think the silent no's are the worst ones. How do you guys feel about being ghosted? Whew, the silent no's are killers, aren't they? It's like exercise. At first it hurts and it leaves you feeling miserable, but after a while, you adjust and you even start to enjoy the pain. That's where the growth really happens. Once again, your reaction to hearing no will determine whether or not you can turn it into a yes. Don't get angry. Don't try to argue with the prospect. And that, again, is your prospective new partner or your prospective new client. Choose your words carefully and always remain in a positive frame of mind. Now, this is important. If you're a person that quote unquote pops off, take some time to cool down before you respond. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. Think about your words, put them together carefully, and then communicate. There are plenty of prospects out there, and there's a lot of truth to the quote that I shared in the beginning. No one can get closer to a yes. No can get you closer to a yes. Never be afraid of hearing the word no, because it's the one word salespeople should get used to hearing if they want to thrive. You can't be afraid of the no. All right, so let's talk about what to do. I've given you the tips. Now let's talk about what to do with those tips. The first thing that you're going to do is anticipate why someone might say no, and start with that. You can probably guess the biggest reason someone will say no to your idea. You probably can guess it. You probably can guess it. When you're asking someone about joining your business, what could be the number one reason why they say no? And I'm coming to the chat box to see what you guys say. There you go, Ashley. Money. Yep, Emily. Hey, Emily. Money, exactly. The price. Exactly. Exactly. So people always have a reason, and you could pretty much anticipate what their reason is going to be. Rather than try to avoid the biggest objection, lead with it. The elephant in the room. If you tackle that first, you take away the sting from it. Don't hide the fact that it costs $69.95 to join the business. Tell people that it does, and then explain to them what the value is. Right? You can make that one of the first things that you say and why you still think it's a good idea. If you don't voice people's objections, they won't be listening. They'll be waiting for their turn to talk so that they can tell you why this doesn't work. Listening to respond. Remember I said that? Listening to respond. So here's an example, and this is for you team builders. You might be thinking, I don't have enough money to join. If I can have a few moments of your time, I'll point out where we can find that money and make it back in the first 3 months. This is an example of something that I've actually said to a prospective new partner. Take this thing out at the beginning. When I joined, I didn't want another bill. I lived in Hawaii. It was expensive to breathe. I did not want another bill. I was barely paying the ones that I had. Take this thing out of the beginning. Talk about the uncomfortable thing and give them something realistic to hang their hats on. This is just an example of something that you can say that has a ring of truth because it is true. And it's something that you can actually do. You can show people how they can charge $25 per person to book flights. 3 $25 sales can cover that monthly maintenance fee. Problem solved. Easy. So don't be afraid to have the tough conversation. Anticipate why they might be saying no and start there. All right, what to do? Number 2, use the word and, not the word but. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and they're telling you why they feel like they feel? Hey, you hurt my feelings. I didn't like how you said that to me. It came off really rough. I'm not comfortable with the way that you communicated to me. And the first thing the other person says is, but I didn't mean it that way. But that's just how I talk. But that's just who I am. But this is what I meant. Does that negate everything that the other person said? I despise having those conversations. That but means that you didn't hear anything that I said or that you don't care. That's the last thing you want your clients or your prospective new partners to think. So use the word and instead of the word but. Don't use but in your pitch. Use and. The key to turning a no into a yes is to avoid a confrontation or an argument. You don't want to have to debate with somebody why they should book with you. You don't want to have to debate someone on why they should join your company. Instead, you want to present yourself as being on the same side as that person, even though you're looking to convince them. And your word choice can be the influence of that. The word but creates conflict. The word and creates cooperation. Example, and this is for team builders. I know you said that, I'm sorry for the typo. I know you said that you tried a business like this before with no success. And I empathize with you, with your feelings. I will commit to assisting you with this business, which will be the difference between this experience and the last one. How could somebody turn you down after you say that? Especially if you mean it. They said that they don't want to join the business because I've done this before. I sold Cincy, I've sold Mary Kay, I've been in the other travel companies and it just didn't work. If this is your response, how could they tell you no? Could you say no to this? All right, what to do? Number 3, state what you can do, not what you can't do. Similar to the last point, you want to build camaraderie with the person that you are trying to convince, not animosity. I'm not buying nothing that you're selling if you're getting on my nerves. If I walk into a store and the people don't greet me, I'm walking back out of the store. I will go across town to spend my money. If I ask you, could you help me find something and you snap at me or you give me attitude, I'm not buying anything from you. It's the same thing when people are considering joining your business or buying travel from you. The word can't builds animosity. say something can't be done, usually it inspires the other person to think of all the ways that it can be done, that it indeed can be done. An example of that is, I understand you're apprehensive about enrolling with our home-based travel agent program today because of the monthly maintenance fee of $69.95. I can work with you to train you on how to earn commission within your first 30 days to cover that fee. I can also teach you how to teach others exactly what I'm teaching you so that you have a monthly residual payment that will cover it. I'm telling them what I can do, not what I can't do. How about agents asking, or potential new agents or prospective new agents asking, can you cover this fee for me? I just don't have it right now. Can you cover it for me? Instead of me saying, no, I can't cover it for you, I'll tell them what I can do. I can work with you and train you on how to earn this commission in the first 30 days so that you can get a return on your investment. Tell them what you can do versus what you can't do. Instead, state only what you can do. Again, this builds a more collaborative environment and generally makes the other person more receptive to your ideas. All right, so let's go over some examples for you travel bookers. This is the part that I want you to get involved in, okay? So this is an example of what a client says, and I know you guys have seen these responses from your clients. I don't want to book because it's too expensive. I don't want to book because it's too expensive. Tell me what a response could be. Based on what you just learned, tell me what a response could be. I don't want to book because it's too expensive. What could you say to turn this into a yes? And I've got the chat box open so I can see your responses. I can look for other options or discounts. Okay, Naveen. With cruises, you can make payments. Okay. Well, we can do a payment plan. Okay, Amber, payment plan. We can try to modify the trip to fit your price. I like that, Linda. Work on a payment plan. Would a payment plan make it more affordable? Deidre, I love how you think. Okay, I understand. Are you open to other options? Okay, Raquel. I offer a payment plan. Okay, you guys are on the right track. I see you get it. I love it. I love it. I see you get it. This is just one of the responses. It's not the only response. It's just one of them. I will be happy to work with you to find an itinerary that is more economically suitable for you. And then you can offer to price match. You can offer to let them book with a deposit. You have options to give them, but offer what you can offer. All right, another example for you travel bookers, since we did the team building first. Oh, I saw this online cheaper. I'll book it for myself. I saw this online cheaper. I'll book it for myself. How can you respond to this? To turn this no into a yes? How can you respond to turn this no into a yes? I saw this online cheaper. I'll book it for myself. There you go, Winter. I will be happy to price match. Would you like to get paid for that booking? There you go, Stephanie, thinking outside of the box, because you may end up with a new travel partner. Ask for a screenshot. What are you going to do with the screenshot, Kaya? Where did you find this? And see if I can get you a better deal. Lance, we're going to change that verbiage because we don't do deals, we price match. Right? We price match. There you go. You guys are on the right track. I love it. I love to see it. Here's one response that you can use. Again, it's not the only response, but it's one of them. I do have the capability to price match. I would love to have your support with my business. Will you please send me the quote that you saw online and I will work my magic? This is something I've actually said. It's like my regular verbiage, something I say on a regular basis. Yes, we do have the capability to price match. I flat out asked them for the sale. Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. Ask for what you want, because a closed mouth does not get fed. And then I instruct them on what to do. Send me the quote that you saw and I'll work my magic. All right, here's another example for you travel bookers. When I tell you this happens to me more often than not, people get excited by seeing pictures that I post and they just want to go somewhere. I want to take a trip, but I don't know where I want to go or even when I want to go. Can you put something together for me? Has that ever happened to you? Yep, Derek, I know you said too. It's because we're from the same place. Winter says it happens to me all the time. Yes, it makes me want to pull out my eyelashes. Ooh, Patricia, I got you. You said that you're lost with that question. I've got you. All right, all right, all right. So how can you overcome this question? How can you overcome this? I want to take a trip, but I don't know where I want to go or when I want to go. All right, Alexis says, start up a question with stuff I like. That's good. I would love to put something together for you. What type of environment would you prefer? Okay, Terica. Okay, Raquel says, can I get a place where you would like to go? And how much is your budget? Good, good, good. Qualify first, exactly. May I give you some of my personal experiences on places I've been to? That's awesome. Search for a package deal with interest, but you've got to find out what the interest is first. I would love to put a trip together for you and look forward to helping you narrow down the choices. I like how you put that, Tanya. All right, so here's a response that you can use. I love to research travel destinations for my clients. Let's schedule a day and a time that we can speak live so that I can interview you to determine your dream destination. In the meantime, please check with your work schedule and the schedules of your travel companions, since you may have to request the time off from work to take this vacation. I'm able to search for a vacation once I have the exact travel date that you will be able to travel. I look forward to working with you to plan this amazing vacation. In all of that I've said, I can't look until you give me some dates, and I'm not going on a wild goose chase. So we need to figure out where you want to go. How do you do that? By qualifying a client. That can't be done through a text message. And sometimes it can't be done by just sending them the job form, just sending them the qualification form, or sending them a text message or email. Sometimes you have to actually interview them, get them talking to find out what their interests are. Share your experiences. The places that you visited might spark an interest with them, but definitely it gives you the opportunity to narrow it down so you're not driving yourself crazy. All right, so here's the wrap up. Overcoming rejection is a real challenge for some of us, and that's okay. The thought of losing a deal can be absolutely gut-wrenching. I can't tell you guys how terrible I feel when I'm told no. Again, I'm going to work through that with y'all, so let's get through it together. But we're going to focus on winning. We're not going to get caught up in the no's. We're going to focus on overcoming the no's and turning those no's into yeses. So how you can do that is by studying your sales approach. Many people get ghosted because they either don't qualify the client correctly, you don't ask for the sale, you don't respond to them, or you don't take the time to find out what their needs are in the beginning. So take some time out and study your sales approach. What are you doing? What could you change to make better? Study your sales approach. Know what your strengths are and your weaknesses. If you are a person that gets uncomfortable speaking to people live, write down some scripts. Know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. One of my weaknesses is responding in the moment. responding in the moment, because I am a very emotional person. My responses can be off kilter sometimes. So I have to take time to sit in what the person just said, analyze it in my head, take a deep breath, and think about what my response is going to be. Because once you say something, you can't take it back. It's out there in the atmosphere. And I know that. So I know that that's a weakness. So I work on that to turn that weakness into a strength. Don't be afraid to ask. A closed mouth does not get fed. Ask for the sale. Ask them what they like. Ask them what their interests are. Ask them, are they interested in earning income for what they're already doing for free? Ask. I can guarantee you it's going to be a no, and it's going to be a no never if you don't ask. And finally, practice. Practice does not make perfect. I don't even know where that saying ever came from, but it does make you familiar. It'll make you good. We are never going to be perfect, especially in the travel industry, because things change every day. But practice will make you fluid. You'll be comfortable with researching. You'll be comfortable with talking to people, qualifying your client, interviewing them, and your prospective new partners. Practice. Don't be afraid to practice. Turn your no's into yeses. The point in sales is not to be a small fish in the big sea of many. Instead, learn how to turn every rejection into a fruitful opportunity. So I'm hoping you guys got something out of this. So the answer to the question that I asked you guys on the Q&A is overcoming the no. What are we going to overcome? We're going to overcome the no. So I'm hoping that you got something out of this and you can take these tips and start using them first thing in the morning as you tackle your travel business, as you service your clients and your prospective new partners. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful week on purpose. One love, y'all. I'm going to turn it back over to Solange.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nina. That was really a great training. Guys, do me a favor in the chat box, throw some fire in there, throw some sevens, do whatever you need to do to show your appreciation to Mrs. Nina Mitchell, please. We got a lot of great nuggets on here and we're very appreciative of that. So guys, take that information and implement it into your business. And see what the results would be for, going forward. Okay. Again, we're here every Sunday night, so please make sure you join us for more trainings like this that gives you more substance to be able to help you in your business. Enjoy your week, and we will talk with you soon. This training is officially over. Good night, everyone.